So I just wanted to thank you for being here with us today. It'll be really great to talk to you, about everything, about your career, about you, and just to get a little bit of background on who you are and what you do. So for anyone who's watching, if you could tell us your name, your age, your field of work, what your job is, and how you know me.
My name is Steve Shatkin. I'm 56 years old. I work in the television industry as an editor for the news magazine 48 Hours. I know you since before you were born, actually, because I'm good friends with your father.
And how do you know my dad?
He and I also happen to have a second occupation. He's the chief of the New Jersey State SPCA, and I'm the deputy chief.
Before we get into your current position at 48 Hours, I just wanted to talk about how you got started in the business, why you wanted to be in the business. Was it a fleeting, decision, or was it a goal of yours? Were you always interested in...
I've always been interested in technology, even as a kid. I went to college for my undergraduate at City University, studied communications, and got a master's in media studies. So this wasn't a fleeting thing. This was something I've always wanted to do. After I graduated from college and I was going for a master's, I started looking for a job in Manhattan, and I wound up getting a job at a production facility called the International Production Center. And it was a non-union house, which allowed me to do just about everything in television. I learned how to do lighting, so I hung lights. I ran cables. I was a cameraman one day. I was a sound editor, and then I found video editing, and that was kind of the trade that I really had the most interest in. CBS actually was right next door to this facility. One day they came in as a client, and I edited a project for CBS, and I said, perfect opportunity. I took my resume and I put it back into the videotape box, and it went back into the building. And I got a call the next day for an interview. I was very lucky. Timing was just right. And I got an interview at CBS, got hired, and I've been there now for 33 years.
Did you immediately start editing at CBS, or, did you just get the job and, you had to work your way up to it?
First started there, I started working on a whole bunch of different shows. At the time, I worked on Captain Kangaroo. I started working on CBS sporting events. I've been working NCAA basketball for the last 30 some odd years. NFL broadcasts, I was a technical director, and I would work every Sunday bringing football games to people. At the same time I was doing that, my steady gig was editing the soap opera As the World Turns. That was one of the longest running soap operas on television. So I actually edited that show from 1980 to the year 2000 at CBS, and I got on to 48 Hours. It's a murder mystery. Every week somebody gets murdered. Husband murders a wife, wife murders a husband, and then we kind of figure out who did what to.
What is your day-to-day like? Is it, one episode a week, or is it an episode over a series of weeks? Just explain a little bit about the editing process that you go through.
It's a whole family of people who work on it. It's not just me, it's not just one other person. There are probably 60 to 70 people who work on 48 Hours. I'm a post-production editor for 48 Hours. What that means is after the individual acts of each show have been put together, I get the material and build a finished show. Once all the material is finished, individual act editors will get the material and start working with a producer, and they'll build an act. So we have 6 acts in the show. So you have 6 editors and you have 6 producers, and they'll put the material together. Once they've done their thing, the video goes to a person called a color corrector. And what he does is he processes the video and makes sure it all looks pristine, and makes sure that Act 1 matches Act 6, so that you don't get 6 different looks throughout the show. You want everything to look consistent. The audio goes to an audio sweetener who mixes the show on Pro Tools. He does the same thing. He makes sure there's consistent sounding audio, level-wise, throughout the show. I build a show on a Avid timeline, starting with Act 1 all the way to Act 6, and I integrate graphics and music and bumpers of 48 Hours, which are little vignettes that go at the top and the bottom of an act to kind of wrap things up. It'll say 48 Hours, a little bit of music, and it kind of looks nice and sounds nice, and I build a show that way.
Okay, I just wanted to thank you for talking to me today, and I really appreciate, you coming by and really explaining what your day-to-day is like, and, the editing process, and really how you got started, because, a lifelong career in this business is what we all aspire to have, and I think it's, really great to, as an example for anyone who's trying to get started, to really just let everyone know, how it was, and that hard work and determination is really the way is really the way to get there. You have to be persistent, and you have to work hard to get what you want. So I just wanted to thank you very much for coming today.